Ave Maria, welcome back to No Apologies. So today we're going to take our last step on the 6 steps to Catholicism. And in this final vlog, we're going to take a look at what logically follows from our conclusion that the Catholic Church is the church founded by Jesus Christ. So we've shown that Jesus is God and that He founded a church which was to teach and to govern all men in the way of salvation. So certainly then, on a matter as important as that, our salvation, reason tells us that man would have a moral obligation to seek out that church and to find the church which he had founded. And then once it's found, to enter it and to strive to live up to its requirements. So in these past vlogs, we have found that church, and we found that the church which Jesus founded was the Catholic Church. So in light of that then, the statement, outside of the true church there is no salvation, would mean that, in view of all the many proofs which we've shown on these past vlogs, and of the many proofs which are available with just a little research, in view of all these proofs, there is no salvation outside the Catholic Church. Now by this, we don't mean that just because someone is not a Catholic, there automatically is no hope of salvation. To understand no salvation outside of the true church, we have to understand who it is that's considered inside the church and who it is that's considered outside the church. And so we ask, first of all, who are those that are outside of the Catholic Church? First, those are outside the church who know or who are convinced that the Catholic Church is the church which Jesus founded, but still don't become one of her members. Then secondly, those are outside the church who through their own grave fall, or who through their own serious neglect, don't realize that the Catholic Church is the church Jesus founded, and they refuse to even consider the Catholic Church's claim to be the true church. So who then are those that are inside the church? Well, first we have those who are her actual baptized members, and then secondly we have those that are not her actual members, but who sincerely believe that the church to which they belong is the true church. So the actual members constitute the body of the church, and non-Catholics, honestly convinced that their own sect is the true church, provided that they're in the state of grace, are members or are a part of the Catholic Church by way of extension, a kind of spiritual membership. Now just membership within the true church is not enough for salvation, but the members must lead lives which are in accordance with the church's teaching, avoiding sin and staying in God's grace if they are to be saved. So here we point out that the actual members of the church have an obvious advantage over just her spiritual members. For the actual members can partake of the 7 grace-giving sacraments, among which they can have their sins definitely and unmistakably forgiven in confession, and they can be actually united, body and soul, with Jesus Christ in Holy Communion. The actual members also can be at peace, resting on the promises which Christ gave to St. Peter and his successors, that he would protect them from error in matters of faith and morals. So the spiritual members do not have these advantages, and it's for that reason that Catholics can never say that sincere non-Catholics should just be left in their sincerity. Christ wills that all men enter His visible church, and He wills that all, as one body, confess His faith. And He wants all to have the same benefits of His sacraments and to share in the graces that flow to the actual members through His church's ministry. So Catholics then should realize the gift that they possess, and having arrived or been brought to the fullness of the truth, and they should desire to more fully ensure their neighbor's salvation by offering to them that same gift. So here now we've reached the end of our 6 steps, and in these past vlogs we've shown, first step, that God exists, second, that man has a soul, that together these two make up an obligation of man to practice religion. And fourthly, Christianity then is the religion that's worthy of belief. Then fifthly, looking at Christianity, we saw that Christ founded a church and that he willed all of his followers to be members of that church. And then lastly, we've shown that the church which Jesus established was the Roman Catholic Church. So for Catholics, I hope that this series has helped you grow in appreciation of your faith, and that it's given you some means of being able to reach out to non-Catholics and show to them the reasonableness of the things which we profess. And for non-Catholics, I hope that this series has been an opportunity of making an examination of conscience. Is the ground that I'm standing on really all that firm? Is it supported by Scripture, by history, by reason and logic? Or are there some blank spots in my creed which haven't really been addressed? So thanks for joining me here on No Apologies. Ave Maria.